Traveling endless, and I remember happiness. I remember.
Well, I have 2 other houses, and I'm hardly ever here. So, you want to buy it?
How much? How much would you sell it to a poor Australian for?
But I heard that you were really rich.
Oh, is that what you heard? That was the other Australian.
In California, it seems, the material girl materializes everywhere. Like Madonna, everybody's up front and outrageous. They play, and they promenade, and they pose. Hey, come on, give me a break, officer. What's the rap?
Well, once again, Dr. Geek is down under. Well, let me come with the boom, with the thunder. Listen to me, ladies and gents. Now it's Ray Martin presents. My name is Geek, and we thank you for coming to calling. We got Madonna, Tony Bennett, and Phil Collins. My name is Geek, and I tell you, you're gonna love the interview Ray does with Madonna. Now before the show is starting. Now once again, his name is Ray Martin. Do you dig what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dr. Geek, his name is Ray Martin. Do you see how it comes? Here up, he's good. Man, listen, just near Hollywood. But if he ever, now leave this show, it'll be a new MC. But we want you to know, my name is Dr. Geek, now, ladies and gents, and the name of the show is Ray Martin. Thanks.
Thank you very much indeed. All right. All right, they reckon this next bloke is the best spoons player in the world. Spoons, you know? Spoons. Now, I don't know about that. Certainly he is the most successful drummer of the lot and one of the most popular and versatile musicians in all of rock and roll. 35 million or so records later, but who's counting? Fresh from a sold right-out tour of Australia and the world, for that matter, would you please welcome back the bloke who once told me that he would not... Madonna may have been born in Bay City, Michigan, alongside Motown. But these days, she lives in Car City, Los Angeles.
Strike the pose.
The Dream Factory of Hollywood
Strike the pose.
helped manufacture Madonna and make her the world megastar. Now, Madonna's never allowed television cameras in a house before. So what should we expect? Well, suddenly, I remember her last television interview was the notorious David Letterman show.
I'm only here because there isn't a Knicks game. Don't get excited.
Oh, come on. Let's go kiss the guy in the audience. Why don't you go kiss the guy in the
Why are you
audience?
so obsessed with my sex life?
As we all know, I have none of my own. What brings you...
Incidentally, you are a sick... I don't know why I get so much...
You realize this is being broadcast, don't you?
Yes.
Well, you can don't be talking like that.
What?
I say, oh, never mind.
Madonna's Californian castle, high on the hill, looks towards Los Angeles. It was built by the gangster Bugsy Siegel. During Prohibition, Bugsy used it as a speakeasy. Now, Madonna loves its seedy past, as she loves the paintings of old Mexican communists like Diego Rivera.
Take a bow, the night is over. This masquerade is getting older.
Now, sitting in the lounge room next to her, you've got to remind yourself that Madonna is almost 37. She's in good shape, maybe a bit too much makeup. a vegetarian, no drugs, an exercise freak. She's reported to be worth over $150 million. Whether you like her or not, Madonna is an icon, alongside Elvis and Marilyn Monroe.
Madonna, thank you for inviting us to your home. It's very kind of you.
You're welcome.
No, you've not had cameras here before, television cameras.
No, it's a virgin house.
The Virgin House, is
Yes.
it? So this is the house I keep reading about, the one that you painted and upset the neighbours?
Yeah. Yes, I upset the neighbors by painting my house something besides white. Apparently white is the color your house is supposed to be in California, I guess.
Yeah.
It's actually taken from a style of painting that they have in Italy. A lot of the houses in an area in southern Italy called Siena, they have villas everywhere, and they're all painted striped like that. So my brother went to Siena. He saw it. That's where he got the idea to do it.
But not Hollywood.
No. I just brought a touch of Italy to California.
Is this, part of being Madonna, the fact that anything you do, someone's going to go upset?
Yeah, I guess so, because I don't usually do very conventional things. So, on the one hand, people expect me to not do conventional things, or to do unconventional things. On the other hand, every time I do something, everyone sort of gets their feathers ruffled. So,
I take it you didn't do it to try and...
no, please. Yeah, I wanted people picketing my gate, my front gate.
Now, again, being Madonna, someone...
For the first time, I can hear my heart sing. Call me a fool, but I know I'm not. I'm gonna stand out here on the mountain top till I feel your rain. Feel it on my fingertips, hear it on the window, baby, your love's coming down like rain. Wash away my sorrow, take away my pain, and your love's coming down like. This used to be the place we ran to. The best things in life are always free. Wishing you were here with me.
Was that the dream when you were the little girl back in Michigan? Was that the dream to be an international superstar?
No,
What was the dream?
I wanted to be a dancer when I was a little girl. That was my dream. And
Or a nun?
Well, that only lasted a few years. but I wanted to be a dancer, and I came to New York, and I did become a professional dancer. And then one thing led to the next, and then soon I was in the music business. And
Always the exhibitionist or an extrovert?
I think that I was what is very common in big families. Like, if you want to get noticed, you have to yell loud. If you want to, I think I have 8 brothers and sisters, and I think that, that was like a survival skill I had to learn growing up with a big family.
But on
look at
stage-
me. And I just think I perfected that, as a performer, and grew into that.
Again, I sort of chucked the quotes at you that I've read that may not be yours, but one in which you said that you have this terrible fear of being mediocre, that drives you.
I think maybe in the beginning I had that, but I'm not afraid of that anymore.
Right? It's a great feeling to be powerful. And now you're clearly powerful, given you.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Did you go after power?
No. In the beginning,
Hedonistic? Or did you go after satisfaction and the job that you do and the art that you want to create? Were you hedonistic?
When you're standing on stage and you see a smile come to someone's face, that gives you pleasure. I think when someone comes up to you and says, God, I heard your record and I just love this song, or I was feeling so down and this song really cheered me up, or whatever, that gives me pleasure. So, and it's also a powerful feeling because you've affected someone. So, yes, I wanted to affect people that way. I wanted to make people feel good about things. And so I don't know if you want to call that going after something for pleasure or going after something for power, but...
How talented are you? Tough question.
I think I couldn't answer that question. What is talent? I think that I have a lot to offer, and I'm very proud of my work.
If I ask that question of a sprinter like Carl Lewis or a beautiful woman like Elle, without any ego, she'd have to say, look, I'm beautiful, or Carl Lewis would have to say, I'm fast. Now, you don't need to prove any more, but clearly because you're successful.
Well, I have to be very careful about what I say because everything I say is held against me.
Is that right?
Yes.
I've read, it seems the millions of articles and that have been done about you. And the file on Madonna is this thick, it seems, and clippings and books and movies and videos and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing you saying that you never get to talk about what you do. So often they're distracted about Warren Beatty or Sean Penn or whatever. What do you do?
I write music, and I sing, and I run a record label, and I produce movies, and I act in movies. I collect art.
But you see why I asked it, because in fact it is almost the distraction of
I know.
of those other things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the concentration on in bed with Madonna and the sexual side and all the discussions, those articles I talk about, has that distracted people away from your talents?
Yeah, I think people have gotten sidetracked by certain issues that were so controversial in our society today that people couldn't get past them. They couldn't get past my political statements or my point of views about sexuality and about being free to express yourself. And people just got so hung up on that they refused to see me as an artist.
Yeah, but you were sort of pulling those strings, weren't you? So it wasn't as though...
Well, I know, I have... No, I don't think of myself as a victim at all. Don't get me wrong. But I knew that I was dealing with taboo subjects, and I knew that it was going to upset some people. I didn't think it would upset that many people, and I didn't know that it would resonate for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But I think, to me, it showed me really what a hypocritical society that we live in and how repressed most people really are about their feelings and their fantasies and their identity and who they are in the world. And I think it was very telling about the world.
Or did you set out to shock?
No, I don't. Maybe I was a little bit naive. I suppose. I mean, when you're an artist and you're creating in a vacuum, a lot of times you don't realize the effect that you're going to have, and which to me contradicts what everybody thinks of me, that I'm so calculating and that I plan things. I mean, I have ideas and I execute them. I'm very impulsive when it comes to the creative impulse, whatever. I just do it.
But this is a very conservative society you live in, isn't it?
Yeah. But I didn't realize how so. I mean, the very fact that people were telling me when I wanted to put my sex book out, oh, you can't do that, you're going to make so many people mad. Oh, you can't, oh, but you're so popular right now. And the fact that people were telling me I couldn't do it made me want to do it even more, because I felt like, well, what's the difference between me doing this and an actress posing nude for Playboy or whatever? The only difference is that I'm making money off of it. And that's what pissed a lot of people off. I mean, we are surrounded by the same kind of erotic images that I put in my book all the time in film, on television, in magazines and literature and everything. But because I'm a pop icon or whatever you want to call me, which means that I'm popular, which means that my ideas can't be controversial. They have to be popular. And I sort of broke that rule,
Yes. It was often said, of course, of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe, wasn't it, that they started out quite radical and quite on the extreme of American society.
Right.
But society sucked them back in and made them conform. Certainly
well,
Elvis.
I think they tried to make him conform. I don't think Elvis Presley was ever able to live up to what people wanted him to be. And I think neither was Marilyn Monroe, and that was their downfall, because I think that they didn't have the survival skills to sort of stick to their guns and say, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and screw what everybody thinks.
And you do?
Well, yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Let me read from you, then, I presume this, because you partly wrote this song, Inside of Me, from a new album, in which you say that, in the public eye, I act like I don't care. When there's no one watching me, I'm crying. Are you?
Sometimes.
I keep a picture of you, your mother,
Yes.
next to my bed at night, and when I wake up scared, I know I'll find you there watching over me. Does she give you that protection?
Yes.
Why?
Because she's my mother. Why is that so hard to understand?
She's no longer here.
Yes, she is. Don't you believe in reincarnation? And do you think that when a person dies, their spirit goes away and that they're no longer there? I mean, has anyone ever really, like, close to you ever died?
Yes.
And you don't you feel their presence?
Yes, I was anxious to hear I hadn't heard you talk about reincarnation before. I've certainly read that. How many photos of your mother would you have around?
I have
Plenty?
pictures of my mother everywhere. But I have pictures of my family everywhere. And people that are close to me that have died, I feel that there is a part of them that stays with me. They never leave. So.
Love tried to welcome me, Madonna. Loneliness has never been a stranger to me.
Right?
Love tried to welcome me. My soul drew back. These are my lips, they whisper sorrow. I don't know happiness. Instead of spring, it's always winter. Is that just a mood, or is that Madonna?
I think everyone feels loneliness sometimes. I think everyone feels sadness. I think everyone feels certain times in their life, God, I had something great and I screwed it up. I could have done it and I didn't. I didn't have the courage, whatever. I think that my feelings aren't so unique. I think everyone feels that way.
But not everyone gets a chance to write about them and sing about them, do they?
Yes, well, that's what separates me from everyone else.
Inside, I was a child that could not mend a broken wing. Outside, I looked for a way to teach my heart to sing. And I'll remember the love that you gave.
I think I'm a wiser person. I think that maybe I've learned certain lessons better than I had in the past, like humility and patience. Maybe that is reflected in the music, but I see myself in person and
Well, what brought about this humility and this patience?
being misunderstood so profoundly for so many years.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you've referred to that, but I mean to the point where you get bloody angry and...
No. I mean, I have gone through anger, but what I'm saying is when people misunderstand you and it's done in a global way, you can't allow yourself to, like, be angry all the time and be bitter. You just have to accept it. And you have to learn patience and know that if you stay true to who you are and you keep doing what you do, that eventually people will come around and understand what you're saying.
What do you do when you read something, an article that is completely false? Do you feel like you want to go and punch out the journalist?
Oh, I do all kinds of things. Sometimes I scream really loud. I go, oh my God, I can't believe they're writing this. Or I go, God, I wish I met him. Or, I mean, it's all, and then sometimes I just go, whatever.
So you met him, these are the blokes you're supposed to have an affair with, or...
Yes.
Yeah. So you can just wish on that. What about when you read in Forbes that...
Exactly.
Who do
I
you
wish I was having all the fun everyone says I'm having.
And you're not having all this fun.
Well, I am, but I mean, I'm certainly not, out with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that they say that I'm out with. I wouldn't get any work done.
When did you decide that there was a time when you first started when you were plump, if I can use that word. When did you decide the body was the temple?
Well, I've always felt that way. I mean, I was taught that in my ballet classes. My dance teacher taught us to respect our bodies and to love our bodies, and that our bodies were in fact temples or whatever. So, I mean, that's always been ingrained in me.
All right, let me just wrap it up with just a one-word response that, and I mean the game quite seriously, but Muhammad Ali?
He's the greatest.
Love?
I think of every good thing that ever happened to me.
Princess Di?
This is like a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
Princess Di. Tortured.
David Letterman?
Funny.
Sex?
Controversy.
There's a long pause on that. Nuns?
Nuns. Special.
Your mother?
Specialer.
Your father?
Specialer. No, my father, I would say resilient.
Okay. Marriage?
Sacred.
Do you worry about getting old?
I just hope that I can still, like, run 8 miles and...
Let me tell you something you won't be able to.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll run 3.
Do you want children?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
A big family?
Not a big family. 2 or 3.
Will you have them?
Yes, I will.
What's it going to take apart from a bloke?
I think that's it. That's the missing ingredient, which actually it's not a missing ingredient. It's going to happen.
You're announcing something to me today, eh?
No, I'm not.
But you're not pregnant?
No.
Let me tell you something. How many rooms?
I don't even know. I don't even know how many rooms I have. So. Anyway, here's my swimming pool.
You use it?
I'm not, very rarely. I don't have any free time to go swimming.
Are you a swimmer or a runner?
Actually, I have a swimming pool in Florida that I use. Bigger, better.
But do you swim or only run?
I do everything. Well, I have 2 other houses, and I'm hardly ever here. So, you want to buy it?
How much? How much would you sell it to a poor Australian for?
But I heard that you're really rich.
Is that what you heard?
Let's get unconscious, honey. Let's get unconscious.
A palm branch.
Right.
This is my little gardenia bush. Here's gardenia. These are my favorite flowers.
Words are useless.
So here's one of my rose gardens. Okay.
Okay. One of you rose gardens.
Yes.
Now, come on, be honest. I mean, 7 or 8 million. That would be a steal at $7 or $8 million, would it?
I think it would be a bargain.
Do you get time to smell the roses or not?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what do you do when you're making films and when you're not?
I sit out here on this porch and I read. I read all the time. I watch movies and I read.
I get the feeling that we're almost out of time, and yet Madonna seems happy enough to take some photos in front of the multi-million-dollar painting that's come from the palace at Versailles. She offers to sell me the house at a bargain price, but she never promised me a rose garden or anything else.
Honey, let's get unconscious. Let's get unconscious, honey.